So I'm Mats Pettersson. I'm from Ericsson. I've been working with business models in Ericsson for 10 years, actually more. And I'm also a PhD student at Stockholm School of Economics in business models. I will talk a little bit about how to go from ecosystems to ecosystems, which is a little bit what we talk about here today, because most established companies are very ego in my experience. I will show a little bit of how we need to change our way of thinking when we go into this. Not so many examples as Michael, but I think good examples to work on later on. So this is a business model approach to digitalization. And needless to say, there is a lot of things with digitalization. Everything is faster, you have lower cost, and you have a bigger impact. I don't think I need to elaborate on that. What we see, though, is, of course, that 5G is something that is going to enable digitalization and transformation. What we have seen, we have gone from 2G, 3G to 4G, and this is predominantly consumer business we have been talking about. It was voice, 3G was browsing, 4G was video. But in 5G, something happens. We're talking about that we can address multiple industries. And why is that? Well, 5G has two characteristics that are really interesting for innovation. One is that there's an enormous capacity of data. And the second one is low latency. And this combination is very interesting, because suddenly we don't need so much intelligence in our products anymore. We can have it in the cloud, and we can use 5G to communicate with rather simple products and have the intelligence there. So that's, of course, that creates a lot of possibilities. And we are exploring those. And right now I'm at Ericsson Research, and of course Ericsson is extremely technical. We talk about technical collaborations, and we want proof of concepts and things like that. What I'm trying to change as a in business model evangelist in Ericsson, of course, is that we need to start to think about this broader. This is what we can talk about now. So this is a survey we did. 40% of the one we talked about thinks business models, digital will change the business models in a major way. 71% says that this is going to change industry structures and profit pools. And 60-70% thinks IoT is going to be one of the top 3 technologies that will shift the business for the coming 3 years. 68% think digital will change the organizational structures for the coming 3 years. And of course, it will, I'm sure. Because digital now changes everything. It changes the way that we do things, how we produce things, how we change, our business model has changed. It transforms industrial structures, changes laws and regulations, and how we organize, compete, collaborate, and innovate. It changes everything, and we need to have a very holistic view on what digitalization can do with our companies. One thing, though, alone is not strong in this. So we need to go from ego to eco. We need to collaborate and work with others to create these values. I think we talked about it today, the value creation, not push technology, articulate values that we can create. We need to look at industry with fresh eyes and really see what we can do. And coming from an incumbent company like Ericsson, I know this is very difficult. This is about against everything we believe in, that we have been working with I'm in telecom, I work with 4G, 5G, I know this technology, I know the standards, my customers are the operators. This is not going to fly anymore. When we talk about established company, business models are usually hard-coded, very difficult to change. Ericsson has been around for 140 years. We have had one dominant business models. I call it the transactional business models. We sell something and deliver and get paid. If we're going to change from selling as a service, that's a major shift. And we don't have the system support for that in the company. I'll give you one very simple example, invoicing. In the transactional business model, we sell billion-dollar systems to a few customers a few times a year. So our billing system is, or the billing process is quite long. It's 10 days, it's 4 manual trips. Now we're trying to sell services, digital services for $4,000 a month to 500 customers. That process doesn't work anymore. It's a major change. This is just one example of the hard coding that needs to be changed in established companies. One method I've tried when working with business models is what I call the minimum viable business model. It is something you need to do when you develop technology part as well, the minimum viable product. And it's very much what we talked about, Vinit and David talked about. Understand the customer's problems and needs to start with. Try to articulate the value proposition and make sure that you can quantify it. Start to craft a revenue model, and then do pivoting and test on business models as well, alongside with your product and technology innovation. Once you have done that for some iterations and you feel that this is more stable, and you should do it with partners, obviously, then you go and look into how will that fit to my strategy, and what kind of requirements on structure and processes will that have? How can I make it fit in my company, or do I need partners to be able to deliver this? Okay, this is my final thing then. Going from ecosystem, shifting ego to ecosystem, shifting strategic framework and the conversation. What we talk about in ecosystem is what kind of products do I have, what kind of business I'm in. This is a typical conversation for a single company acting autonomously. I'm from Ericsson, I'm in telecom, I have radio base stations, and I talk to operators. It's not going to help now. We need to change the conversation and talk about the capabilities I have and the relations I have. Because now, I'm still a single company, but I'm interlinked in a digital ecosystem. Give you one example here, that capabilities are not always tangible things. A couple of years back, we did a deal with one of the digital giants. They wanted to buy managed servers. And they came to us. We delivered servers from a competitor. We managed them with Ericsson personnel. And we got, it was a good deal, I can say. I want to talk about the margin, but it was a very good deal. So why would they come to us? What was the capability that this digital giant wanted from Ericsson? Well, we are in 180 countries. They wanted global presence. We could offer that with one interface. No one else could. So suddenly, you need to think broader about capabilities. It's not about our products. We have relations, we have capabilities that we could collaborate with others and look into that. But widen the discussion and talk about that. So to summarize my learnings with business models for the last 10 years is, of course, don't wait, start today. Collaborate with others, experiment and scale. Use the minimum viable business model approach. Focus on value, what you can deliver, and try to quantify it. And broaden the discussion to capabilities and relations, so we don't just get stuck in our silos.